The Targaryens ruled Westeros for nearly 300 years, but most people don't realize there were two completely different Targaryen dynasties, the one before the Dance of Dragons and the one that came after. One of them built an empire. The other one nearly watched it burn to the ground. And the secret that destroyed them all, most fans have never heard it. Today, we're going to break it all down. The power, the glory, the fall, and the one thing that separates a legendary dynasty from a dying family. Let's begin. Let's start with the Targaryens at their peak. This is the era most people forget because it wasn't just powerful, it was unstoppable. And there's one king in this era, one specific ruler that most fans completely overlook. But he might be the most important Targaryen who ever lived. We'll come back to him. For now, let's set the stage. When Aegon the Conqueror landed on Westeros, he had just 3 dragons. 3. And within a generation, the Targaryens had over 150 dragons flying across the 7 kingdoms. 150!
The largest, Balerion the Black Dread, was so massive his jaws would swallow a mammoth whole. His fire melted stone like butter. And when he flew over Harrenhal, the largest castle in Westeros, he didn't just burn it, he melted it, reduced it to rubble in a single night. That's the kind of power the Targaryens had before the dance. They weren't just kings, they were gods walking among men. But here's the thing about gods. They always fall. And the fall, he came from within.
The Dance of Dragons didn't start with dragons. It started with a question. Who should sit on the Iron Throne? A king named Viserys died, and on his deathbed, he named his daughter Rhaenyra as heir. But the kingdom? They wanted his son Aegon instead. And just like that, the most powerful family in Westeros turned on itself. Brother against sister, mother against son, dragon against dragon. The battle above the God's Eye, 2 dragons locked in combat, falling from the sky, both riders dead, both dragons dead. And this exact moment, changed everything for the Targaryens. But the reason why? Most historians have it wrong. We'll get to the truth in a moment. By the end of the dance, over 20 dragons were dead. 20! The dragon pits, once home to hundreds, sat empty. And House Targaryen? They won the war, but they lost their soul. After the dance, the Targaryens were still on the throne, but they weren't rulers anymore. They were survivors. Only 3 dragons remained. 3. The Targaryens went from 150 dragons to 3 in 1 generation. And those last 3, they died within 50 years. But why did the dragons die? Everyone says it was the doom of Valyria, a curse, magic fading. But the real reason the dragons died was because of one decision. We'll expose it in a moment. Without dragons, the Targaryens had nothing. No power, no fear, just a name. A name people used to bow to. Now, they were tolerated. Tolerated. That's the difference. Before the dance, the world feared the Targaryens. After the dance, they were just waiting to be replaced. Remember the king I mentioned earlier? The one most fans forget? His name was Jaehaerys the Conciliator. He ruled for 55 years, the longest reign in Targaryen history. And during those 55 years, not a single civil war, not one rebellion of note. The realm was at peace, true peace. That's what the Targaryens had before the dance. Not just dragons, not just power. They had wisdom, vision, leaders who built instead of destroyed. After the dance, every king was either a tyrant, a madman, or a puppet. Aerys II, the Mad King, burned people alive for fun. Daenerys? Her father times 10. See the pattern? The Targaryens before the dance built legacy. The Targaryens after? Just ruins.
Now, the real reason the dragons died? It's not what you think. The doom of Valyria was real, but it happened 100 years before the dance. And the dragons? They were still alive, still strong, still breeding. So what changed? The dance. The civil war. See, dragons are intelligent. They're emotional. They bond with their riders. And when a dragon watches its rider die, sometimes they refuse to bond with anyone else. They just stop. Stop flying. Stop eating. Stop living. So when 20+ riders died in the dance, 20+ dragons were left broken. Heartbroken. Not cursed. Not magic fading. Just heartbroken. That's the truth. The dragons didn't die because of a curse. They died because the Targaryens broke them. So when Daenerys hatched 3 dragons 200 years later, most people called it a miracle. And it was. But here's the thing. Those 3 dragons, they were the last echo of the Golden Age. The final reminder of what the Targaryens once were. Before the dance, 150 dragons, 300 years of unified rule, kings who conquered the world and kept the peace. After the dance, 3 dragons, centuries of decline, mad kings, broken legacies. So which era was more powerful? The answer is clear. The Targaryens before the dance didn't just rule Westeros, they shaped it. The Targaryens after the dance, they were just trying not to lose it. That's the difference between a dynasty and a dying family trying to remember what they once were. So, do you agree? Were the Targaryens more powerful before the dance or after? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want to see us rank every single Targaryen king from worst to best, hit subscribe, because that video is coming next week. And trust me, you don't want to miss it.